Welcome back to Very Good Yoga with Billy. My name is Billy, and for today's class, all you're really going to need is 2 blocks, maybe a strap for a bind, and then for today's sequence, for today's practice, I do want to give you folks an opportunity to get upside down at some point. So that being said, if you have some wall space nearby that you would like to potentially use for an inversion, maybe set up your mat so it's right in front of that wall. And if you don't have like the space to do that, don't worry about it. You can always like come off your mat, go over to the wall, and then just come right back. Let's get started. Let's find a supported Anahata Asana facing the front of your room. So what I'm going to have you do is take your 2 blocks, the medium height shoulders width distance apart. I don't know if I said this or not. If you don't have blocks, you could use like a fat stack of books. But I'm not like a big fan of using books for this first shape, just because most likely your books are going to be like a little uneven. Let's talk about what this is going to look like before I continue to get into that. Place your elbows to the front edges of your blocks. Bring your palms together to touch. And then back up your hips so you can lower the triceps down onto your bricks. If you're doing this variation, bend into the elbows so that your thumb knuckle touches the back of your spine. And if you don't have blocks, I think you would be better off just doing the same shape on the floor. So if you don't have blocks, it would look a little something like this. So the idea with this is we're opening up the shoulders. We are opening up the thoracic spine. And if you haven't, begin to deepen the breath. On the one hand, reach your heart and chest down into the floor. And in an effort to maintain some degree of stability with the shoulder opening, press the elbows and the triceps down simultaneously. So there's a little bit of a back and forth happening in your arms. Make your way back up into a tabletop and place your blocks off to the side. Bring your knees, your thighs, and your calves together to touch and tuck all 10 of your toes. Sit back on your heels and set up for a toe breaker pose. If you're anything like me, you might need to manually adjust the pinky toe edge of your foot so it's right underneath you. And maybe this is where you stay and you can keep your hips and your torso right over your feet. But if you want to do a little bit less, feel free to pitch your upper body forward so you take some of the weight out of the feet. But if you want a little bit more, reach the arms up into the ceiling. Find leg to the sides of the waist and take a full breath in. Exhale, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And maybe you find an interlace at the lower back, reaching your knuckles to the floor. But now beginning to lift the heart and the chest up into the ceiling. Maybe your gaze goes slightly up and a little back. For 5, 4, 3, 2, back to tabletop on 1. Untuck your toes, pat the tops of the feet out onto the floor, and come up into downward facing dog. Plant your palms, tuck your toes, and lift the hips up high. For this first downward facing dog, if there's anything extra you'd like to do while you're here, maybe pedal out the feet, reaching the calves down to the floor to wake up the calves and the hamstrings. Bring your feet a little closer together and lift the right leg up into a 3-legged dog. Flex the right foot, turn out your toes, bend the right knee, and open up your hip. So your left leg on the floor is doing most of the work here. The outer left heel melts down and the outer left hip firms in. And you do that so you have a little bit more wiggle room in your shoulders. Straighten out the right leg, square off your hips, inhale. And the in between the elbows is your exhale. step your right foot forward to your right thumb and lower the back left knee down. Keep the right hand on the floor and reach your left arm at a diagonal for a side body bend. And if you're struggling to keep the right hand on the ground, maybe use a block or a prop to bring the ground closer to you. Look underneath your left armpit and take an inhale. Simple twist, left hand down, right arm up. Turn the left rib cage towards the inner right thigh. On an inhale, reach the right arm back, down, forwards, low lunge. Reach the arms straight up into the air. Pull the right heel towards the back left knee. Lift up and out of the belly and allow your hips to drift forward in front of the back left knee. Inhale the arms up higher. Forward fold is the out breath. Step the back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand. Reach the arms up high. See the palms touch. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart. Tadasana, arms are by your sides. Turn your palms forward, and on your next inhale, reach the arms out and up. Forward fold is the out breath. Inhale, flat back, long waist. Exhale, step the right foot, step the left foot, and come into your plank pose. Keep pressing the floor away with your hands. And lift the inner thighs up into the ceiling. Reach the heart and the chest forward as you inhale. Exhale, lower all the way to the belly. Come up onto your forearms and meet me in a Sphinx Pose. So the shoulders are going to be right over the elbows. And whenever we make this forearm shape today, folks, make sure that the palms, the elbows, the forearms, and everything are parallel with one another. Press your press your toenails down to lift the kneecaps up. And then this is a really subtle movement, but try to drag your elbows into your hips to lengthen the heart and the chest forward. Full breath in. Exhale, lower. Hands are by your shoulders. Tuck your toes. On your next inhale, move through tabletop. And on your out breath, downward facing dog, send the hips up and back. Lift the left leg up into a three-legged dog. And on your next inhale, bend the left knee to open up your hip. Again, do the work with your right leg and your right hip to free up your shoulders. And keep pressing evenly between both of your hands. Straighten out the left leg, square off your hips, stay for the inhale. The knee in between the elbows is your exhale. Step your left foot forward to your left thumb and lower the back right knee down. Keep the left hand down and reach the right arm at a diagonal so you're finding the side body bend. You're reaching the right hand away from the right hip. You're leaning your right shoulder back, and if it's okay on your neck, your gaze is up and underneath your right armpit. Stay for the inhale. Simple twist, right hand down, left arm goes up. And the back knee stays on the floor for this one. Inhale, reach your left arm back, left arm down, both arms forward, low lunge. Anjaneyasana, reach the arms up high. Press the feet down to lift up and out of the waist. Left knee is over the left shin. Lift through the front and the back ribs. Inhale. Forward fold is the exhale. Step the back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand. Reach the arms up. See the palms touch. Tadasana, arms are by your sides. Turn your palms forward. Inhale, Ardha Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, bow forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, prepares you for plank pose. Exhale, step the left foot, step the right foot, plank pose. Straighten out your legs more, reach your heels back, and then resist the floor with your hands as you slowly lower for 3, 2, all the way down on 1. Doing something a little bit different this time. Untuck your toes and reach your arms back, but plant your palms by your hips. Press your toenails down to lift your kneecaps up. Press your palms down to lift your chest and shoulders. Lift your feet, lift your hands. Shavasana is your back bend this time. So the big toes are together to touch, and just like you would do in plank pose, lift the inner thighs up into the ceiling. And even though you're lifting the inner thighs up, you're trying to find more length than height with this back bend. Reach your fingertips and your toe tips back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Hands are by your shoulders. Tuck your toes and lift your kneecaps off the floor. Stay on your belly with your kneecaps lifted and begin to lift your chest and shoulders off the floor. Inhales here. Plank pose to downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. So a little bit similar, but a little bit different. Lift the right leg up into a 3-legged dog and take a full breath in. Exhale, right knee in between your elbows. Twice more like that. 3-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, knee in between your elbows. 3-legged dog, take a full breath in. Exhale, knee in between the elbows. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb. You're in a runner's lunge with the back left knee lifted. Side body bend. Keep the right hand on the floor. Reach the left arm at a diagonal. Take an inhale. Exhale, left hand down. Simple twist. Reach the right arm up. Back. Down. Forwards. High crescent lunge. Reach both arms straight up into the ceiling. If it's appropriate, like if it does not bother the lower back, straighten out the back left leg. Bend into the front right knee more. Draw the right thigh bone back. Inhale the arms up higher. Tadasana is the out breath. Step the left foot up to meet your right foot. Inhale, chair pose. Sweep the fingertips with the floor. Lift the heart and the chest up. Inhale. Forward fold is your exhale. Inhale, flat back. Prepares you for Chaturanga. Exhale, Chaturanga. Lower halfway. Inhale, come up into your back bend. Upward facing dog. Lift the thighs up higher. Look straight ahead. And then use your belly to take it back into your downward facing dog. Keep moving. Lift the left leg up. 3-legged dog. Full breath in. Exhale, knee in between the elbows. Twice more like that. 3-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, knee in between the elbows. Last one. Inhale to 3. Knee in between the elbows. Step your left foot forward. Runner's lunge. To your side body bend. Reach the right arm towards the left side of your room. Full breath in. Simple twist. Right hand is down. Left arm is up. Back. Down. Forwards. High crescent lunge. Come all the way up to stand and reach the ring fingers up into the ceiling. Maybe somehow you could imagine that your shoulders are attached to your waistband and lift up and out from there. If you could do this before, straighten out the back right leg if it does not bother your lower back. Full breath in. Tadasana is the out breath. Step the back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale, chair pose. Sweep the floor with your fingertips. Lift the heart and the chest up. Forward fold is your exhale. Inhale, flat back. Prepares you for Chaturanga. Exhale, Chaturanga. Lower halfway. Inhale, come up into your back bend. Upward facing dog. To your downward facing dog. 3 to 5 rounds of breath here. Lift your hips away from your shoulders. And especially if you know that you're a little tighter in the backs of the legs, the hips, or maybe even your lower back, keep a bend in the knees. Inhale, downward facing dog. On empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, or fly, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend into the knees, the heart and the chest lift up. Look forwards, bring your hands to prayer at the heart, and prayer twist over to the right. So the left elbow connects outside of the right thigh. And your feet are pressing well into the floor when you bend into your knees. Maybe this is where you stay. But if you want a deeper twist, put your left hand on the floor, maybe a block, and reach the right arm up into the ceiling. I always really want to encourage you folks, if you're having a hard time putting your left hand on the floor, definitely use a prop. You're pressing the left hand down, so you can not only lift across the chest, but reach the right arm higher to the ceiling. Inhale, chair pose, come back through center. Forward fold is the exhale. Inhale, flat back, prepares for Chaturanga. Exhale, Chaturanga, lower halfway, but hold the bottom of your push-up. Plug your right foot like a centimeter off the floor. Three-legged Chaturanga becomes a three-legged plank. Draw the right knee into the belly and stay here. So the thighs are lifting up into the ceiling. The crown of the head is reaching forwards, and your tailbone is going down towards your heels. 5, 4, 3, 2. Step your right foot forward and walk your hands to the left so we're in a straddle pose. Parallel your feet with the edges of the mat and straighten out both of your legs. Inhale, flat back. Hands on your hips. Exhale, come up to stand. And set up for a triangle pose facing the front of your space. So you're about one leg's distance between your 2 feet on the floor. And your back left toes angle slightly in and up the mat. Firm the left hip in, but shift your hips back. Trikonasana triangle pose. Put your hand on your shin, your foot, or maybe a prop outside of the front right leg. Notice if you're rounding in your left rib cage. And try to reach evenly through both sides of the waist. Get long through the right side and short through the left side. 2 more breaths. Feet press down. Thigh bones lift up. Inhale. Exhale, come up to stand. And just step to a Tadasana at the top of the mat with your left foot forward to meet your right foot. Turn your palms forward, and on your next inhale, reach the arms out and up. Forward fold is the out breath. Inhale, flat back, prepares you for Chaturanga. Exhale, Chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, come up into your back bend, upward facing dog. Exhale to your downward facing dog. Find the breath. Elbow pits roll forward. Armpits are trying to turn in to face your face. Inhale. On empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, or fly, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend into the knees, the heart and the chest lift up. Look forward, hands to prayer at your heart, twist to the left. Connect the right elbow outside of the left thigh. And keep pressing your feet down when you bend into your knees. Maybe this is where you stay, but if you want to open your twist, put the right hand on the floor, maybe a block. Pull the belly back. Press the right hand down to lift across the chest and to reach the left arm up higher. Inhale, chair pose, come back to center. Forward fold is your exhale. Inhale, flat back, prepares you for chaturanga. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway but hold. Pluck your left foot off the floor. Three-legged chaturanga becomes a three-legged plank. Bring the left knee in between your elbows and just stay here. The left knee is trying to get beyond the biceps. The crown of the head is reaching forward like it could headstand on the front wall, and the right heel is reaching back like it could heel stand on the back wall. 5, 4, 3, for 2, step your left foot forward and walk your hands over to the right for a straddle. Straighten out both of your legs and turn all 10 of your toes to point towards the long edge of your mat. Inhale, flat back, feet press down. Hands on your hips. Exhale, come up to stand. Set up for a triangle pose facing the front of your space. Turn the left toe straight ahead. Turn the back right toe slightly in and up the mat. Shift your hips back, triangle pose. Left hand to shin, floor, or maybe a block. Feet are pressing down. Thigh bones are lifting up. Left rib cage is feeding forward, and you could probably get short through your right waist. If you don't know what your right waist is, it's this part of your body right here. What I'm trying to get you to correct, and what I'm trying to get you to avoid is this. You guys can see how I'm now rounding on my right side. Lift out of the belly, so you're almost like in a flat back with your chest. Inhale. Exhale, come up to stand. And just come into a Tadasana at the top of the mat. Turn your palms forward. Inhale the arms up. Forward fold is the exhale. Inhales flat back, prepares you for chaturanga. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, come up into your back bend, upward facing dog. Exhale to your downward facing dog. Please walk your hands to a forward fold at the back of your mat. Bring your feet 2 fists width distance apart and take your 2 peace fingers and toe lock your big toes for yoga toe lock. I like to press my thumb in front of my big toes for this one. I just feel like with that, I can create a slightly stronger and more stable shape. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Inhale, flat back. Bend your elbows and exhale, fold. Find a point at the back of your room to focus your drishti on. Keep pressing your feet down and draw the shoulder blades down the backs away from your ears. For 3, for 2, unlock your big toes on 1 and inhale to flat back. Padahastasana, slide your hands underneath your feet, and then yogi's choice. Maybe the palms are up, but maybe the palms are down. If this is a shape that you do quite a bit of, folks, and you're pretty comfortable with the palms up, try palms down with the thumbs turning out. Breathing for 3. For 2. Take the hands out from underneath the feet on 1 and inhale to flat back. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands forward. Okay. Let's build a little bit of a flow here. Step your right foot as far forward as you can, and please come up into Warrior 2. So just like you did in low lunge, the right knee is over the right shin, so essentially the shin is perpendicular with the floor. Lift the right hip bone up and away from the top of the right thigh, and keep turning your chest towards the left side of your room. Straighten out the front right leg. Reach both arms up into the ceiling and take a full breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Right hand outside of the right foot. Extended side angle. Reach the top arm forward. If you're modifying, put a block underneath your right hand or put your forearm on your thigh. Press down to the outer edge of the back left foot and lean your left shoulder back. So do that same work that you did in your side body bend at the very beginning of class. 2 more breaths. The right leg is pressing into the right arm. Reach the left arm up into the ceiling. Look down at the floor and come up into a Halfmoon Pose. So now the back left leg lifts off the ground. And make sure that your right toes are pointing straight ahead. Your shoulders are stacked and you're trying to get your chest sideways with the ground. And if you're feeling pretty good here, maybe try to look up and bring the right eyeball to your left thumb. Inhale. Warrior two is the exhale. Step the left foot to the back of your mat. Straighten out the front right leg and just step up into Chandrasana at the very front of your space. Keep the right foot on the floor and begin to lift the left knee into the belly. Eagle legs with the left leg over the right and the left arm underneath the right arm for full expression, Garudaasana. Whenever you have your arms out in front of you like this, you're opening up through the back body. So the more you lift your arms up and forwards, the more space you can create in your shoulders. Keep the weight in the right heel. Bend deep into the right knee. 2 more breaths. Bring the left knee into the belly, into your chest. Utthita C. Grab on for the left shin, thigh, or foot. Excuse me. And reach the left arm to the back of your space. So you're trying to turn the left rib cage towards the wall behind you. And the more you press down into your right foot on the floor, the more your standing right thigh bone is going to lift upwards into its socket. Inhale, left arm down, left arm forward, both arms up. Tadasana is the exhale, both feet on the floor and the arms by your sides. Turn your palms forward, inhale the arms up. Forward fold is the exhale. Option to take a Bakasana crow pose. If you're going for the arm balance, plant your palms and bring your big toes together to touch. Come up high onto the balls of the feet so that you can rest your knees in the backs of the triceps. Press the floor away as much as you can. Look forward, lean the heart and the chest forward. And use your hamstrings to pull your heels in toward your butt. Maybe you can shoot back and land in Chaturanga. Move through Vinyasa, and please meet me in downward facing dog. Lower your forearms and come into Dolphin Pose, please. And if you need to drop the knees to come into that dolphin, then drop your knees to come in. Just like we did before in Sphinx, your elbows, your forearms, and your hands are parallel with one another. If you're looking for more strength work in your dolphin, your shoulders will be over the elbows. And if you're looking for more of an opening, like more stretching, your shoulders will be behind the elbows. Keep the gaze right in between the feet so the crown of the head reaches down into the floor. Simultaneously, press your palms down, lift the elbows and the forearms up. And then just step your left foot as far forward as you can. Warrior number 2. Come all the way up to stand and settle down here. Reach the index fingers away from one another, but stay soft in your shoulders. the outer right hip in to lengthen the inner left groin forward. Straighten out the front left leg, reach both arms up. Stay for an inhale here. Exhale back to 2. Inhale, reverse, lift up and out of the left waist and hip. Extended side angle. Put the left hand outside of the left foot and reach the right arm as far away from the back foot as you can. If you take a really long warrior 2, you'll go a little shorter with this stance. And this is a twist. So keep leaning your right shoulder back and turn your chest up into the ceiling. Reach the right arm up into the air, look down at the floor. Ardha, Chandrasana, Halfmoon Pose. Float the back right leg up and off the floor. Keep flexing through the right foot like you could leave a footprint on the wall behind you. And let's imagine that somehow you could roll the inner left thigh forwards and the inner right thigh back. So if you're doing that right, your right toe should turn down just a little bit. Inhale to lengthen. Warrior 2 is the out breath. Step the right foot to the back of the mat. Straighten out the front left leg. And just step up into a Tadasana at the top of your space. Bring the right knee into the belly. And wrap the right leg over the left leg, coming into eagle legs. Right arm goes underneath the left arm for full expression. The emphasis here is lifting the arms up and forward to spread the shoulder blades off of the back. Draw the right thigh bone back so your hip bones are squared. And you could probably bend a little bit more into that poor left leg. I know that left leg is doing a lot of work here. We're almost out. Lift the right knee into the belly. And open to Utthita C. Put the left hand on right shin, thigh, or foot and reach the right arm back. I know I'm modifying with my hand on my shin, but for me, if I go for the foot, then it starts to look like that. I'm leaning back. And frankly, I don't care whether or not you're modifying, but do emphasize standing up tall and straight. Reach your right arm down, right arm forward, both arms up. Tadasana, both feet on the floor and the arms are by your sides. Turn your palms forward, inhale the arms up. Forward fold is the out breath. Bakasana, crow pose. Plant your palms, bring the knees to the backs of your triceps. And if this is new to you, I would recommend that you put a block underneath your feet when you set up. So when you set up, it just puts the knees up a little bit higher on your arms. So it doesn't take as much effort to lean forward and catch your arm balance. Eventually shoot back. Chaturanga, Vinyasa, or you skip it. Pick your favorite way to go back to down dog. And then lower your forearms and come into dolphin. Palms, forearms, elbows, everything is parallel with one another. Maybe for this one, you decide to walk your feet in a little bit more towards your face. So we're starting to try to get the hips over the shoulders. Look in between the forearms this time and press well into your hands. 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower the knees down and take a child's pose on 1. Obviously we just did a lot on the shoulders. So if you want to give your shoulders a break, take embryo pose and grab on for your heels. Feel for some part of your rib cage and your belly resting on your thighs. maybe as you begin to settle into, this rest, this stillness, you begin to visualize the spine and the skull. Visualize that the spine is rounding and that your forehead is resting on the floor. And maybe you visualize and that somehow you could actually see and feel like the space you're creating in between each and every vertebra. So that when you breathe specifically into those spots. Sometimes we need more, but sometimes we need less. When you're ready to move on, plant your palms, tuck your toes, and lift your hips up into your downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. When empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, or fly. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back as soon as you get there. Forward fold is the out breath. Inhale, chair pose. Bend into the knees. Lift the heart and the chest up. Look forwards. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart and prayer twist over to the right. So the left elbow connects outside of the right thigh. And you're leaning the right shoulder back and feeding the heart and the chest forward. A little bit different with this twisting chair. Pluck your left foot off of the floor. And then either really, really slow or maybe really, really fast. Step the left foot back so you're in a twisting high lunge this time. Maybe this is where you stay. But if you want to set up for a bind, place your right hand outside of the right thigh so you can get your left armpit closer to the outside of your leg. For the bind, the left arm is weaving underneath the front right thigh. And it's the right arm that goes over the lower back, holding hands with yourself. But maybe your strap. Or maybe just your clothing. If you're sticking with the half bind, keep the left hand on the floor outside of the right foot and just allow the right arm to drape over the lower back. 2 more breaths. Inhales, lengthen. Warrior 2 is the out breath. Come up to stand. Straighten out the front right leg. Reach both arms up into the ceiling and pause. Keep the biceps by your ear and just look at the back wall. Keep your eyes on the back of your space and re-bend into the front right knee. Tilt your torso forwards about 45 degrees and reach out through your ring fingers. Feet are pressing down, left shoulder is leaning back. For 5, 4, 3, for 2, half moon on 1. Float the back left leg up and off the floor. And place your right hand either on the floor or maybe a brick. Option to stay here, but if you'd like to take the quad stretch, reach your left arm back. Bend into the left knee and see if you can grab the outer edge of the left foot. If you're close but can't quite grab that left foot, what I would have you do is try to keep this shape of half moon, but lift your right hand off the floor so you can reach more with your left hand. So I didn't pull the left knee into the belly. The shape of the leg and the pose stayed more or less the same. You're just lifting the right hand off the floor. If you have the foot, kick into your left hand. So you're trying to get your heel away from your left tush. So it's almost like you're in a half bow on the left side. If you have the foot without slingshotting it, let it go. And then step back, warrior 2. Straighten out the front right leg and turn all 10 of the toes to point towards the long edge of the mat and parallel your feet with the outer edges of the mat. Reach the right arm up and the left arm down and find arch your arms. So again, holding hands with yourself, your clothing, and I wouldn't even worry about the strap if you're doing this one. Tilt your torso forward and begin to fold. I don't know if you guys caught what I did there, but I kind of leaned back a little bit when I folded. And I just did that because I have a wall in front of me. So hopefully you have more space than I do to make this happen and work. Feet press down, thigh bones lift up. Put your hands on the floor. And inhale to flat back. Walk your hands to the right, runner's lunge. To three-legged dog, lift the right leg high. Lower your forearms to the floor and come into a three-legged dolphin. So maybe this is where you stay. But if you'd like to take a few L-shaped forearm hops, look in between your forearms, inhale. And on your exhale is when you get a little bit of hang time. If you're coming up, try to keep your legs as straight as possible. Reach out of your heels. Pull the belly back. Eventually make your way to downward facing dog. And if you need a child's pose in between, take a child's pose in between. And if you're still playing, like, if you're having like one of those miracle moments, you want to keep going, like, keep going. Sometimes we need more, sometimes we need less. Last side, inhale. On empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, or fly. Forward, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Get excited, this is the last one. Inhale, chair pose. Bend into the knees, heart and chest lift. Look forward, hands to prayer at your heart, twist to the left. Connect the right elbow outside of the left thigh. And feed the heart and the chest forward. So you're doing the work of a flat back, maybe even an up dog with your chest. Keep the twist and pluck the right foot off the floor. Slow or fast. Step the right foot to the back of the mat for your twisting high lunge. Straighten out the back right leg. And then option to stay here, but if you want to go for that full or half bind, set up the right arm first by pressing the left hand into the outer left leg. If you're going for the full bind, the right arm weaves underneath the front left thigh, and the left arm goes over the lower back. If you're sticking with the half bind, keep the left arm over the lower back, but just put the right hand on the floor. One more inhale. Warrior 2 is the exhale. Come up to stand. Straighten out the front left leg and reach both arms up into the ceiling. Hold here. Bring your gaze to the back of your space. Keep the arms overhead, but rebend into the front left knee. Keep the arms lifted and just tilt your torso forward about 45 degrees. So it's like you're holding a yoga block in between your palms. Maybe just take a quick peek and notice how close or how far your hands are from one another. Reach out of your ring fingers and lean your right shoulder back. 5, 4, 3, for 2, half moon on 1. Lift the back right leg up and off the floor. And maybe this is where you stay. If you took the quad stretch on the first side, see if you can grab the outside of the right foot and the right shin here on the second. Continue to emphasize that your left toes are pointing straight ahead no matter what variation you're taking. Kick the right foot into the right hand. So it's like you're in that half bow on your right side. That's slingshotting the foot, let it go. And lightly step back into warrior two. Straighten out the front left leg and parallel your feet with the edges of your mat. Reach the left arm up and the right arm down. And go for your archer arm. So you're holding hands with yourself or maybe your clothing. I don't think, or maybe I did say this before, I'm not a fan of the strap for this one, just because you gotta come out of the pose, you gotta come back into the pose, you gotta pick up the strap, you gotta put it down. Inhale. Hinge at your hips and bow forward. Left tricep reaches to the ground. Right tricep is lifting upwards into the ceiling. Put your hands on the floor. And on your next inhale, find a flat back. Walk your hands to the left. Runner's lunge. To three-legged dog. Lift the left leg high. Okay. Lower your forearms down to the floor. Setting up for Pincha Mayurasana. Look in between your forearms. And I didn't say this before, but straighten out your left leg as much as you can. The straighter and more firm this lifted left leg is, the stronger and more successful this pose will be. It's an inhale, three-legged dolphin. And on your exhales when you kick up. And maybe you can just get up for a little bit. Maybe eventually you can get the hips over the shoulders. Lower the knees. And we'll meet in child's pose. Again, if you want to take that embryo pose, reach the arms back and grab on for your heels. And if you're still working, keep working. Stand up on your shins. So we're going to do a couple camel poses today. And what I'll have you do is untuck your toes. And in an effort to establish more lift and length out of the belly, reach the arms up first and pause. Press the feet down so your foundation is strong. And on your next inhale, lengthen a little bit more. Exhale, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and put your hands on your lower back with the fingers facing up. If you don't have the mobility, just have your fingertips pointing down. Reach your tailbone towards the floor and keep lifting out of the belly. So your shoulders are leaning back. You're staying neutral through the neck, and maybe your head could go back a little bit more too. If you want to go a little bit further, walk your hands down your butt, your hamstrings, and if they're available to you, grab on for your heels. If your hands are on your heels, imagine that there's a strap wrapped around your upper arms that you're trying to pull apart. Inhale, stand up on your shins. And exhale, sit down on your heels. Close your eyes and lower your chin to your chest. Do that again. Stand up on your shins. Reach the arms up into the air first. Press the feet down to create that length and lift out of the belly. Inhale. Exhale, cactus the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and put your hands on your lower back. Imagine that you could chest bump the ceiling. Imagine that there's a string attached to your heart center, pulling you up to where the wall meets the ceiling in front of you. If you want more, you're walking your hands down your butt, your hamstrings, and if they're available to you, grab onto your heels. You could tuck your toes to modify this back bend if you want, but I feel like when you tuck your toes, you lose that connection with the tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale, stand up on your shins. And on your exhale, sit down on your heels. Close your eyes. Allow your chin to drop down towards your chest. As you start to flutter the eyes open, roll over your legs, find a comfortable seat, and then lay down all the way on your back. So I want to do one more back bend with you folks here today. I'll walk you through a bridge with an option to take a wheel. Walk your feet close enough to your butt so you can get your knees right over your shins. Press down into your upper arms, and on your next inhale, lift the heart and chest up into the ceiling. Bridge pose. As the exhale, press your feet down to lift your hips off of the floor. And then, if you do want that wheel pose, reach the arms up and overhead and try to get your ribs as far away from your lower back as possible. Bend into your elbows, plant your palms to frame your face, and come up onto the crown of the head. So you're squeezing the elbows together, you're drawing the shoulders back into their sockets. Wheel pose. Straighten out both of your arms and press your feet a lot into the floor. The inner thighs are rolling towards one another. And soften the breath if you're not already. Try to take 3 or 4 more rounds. And then on your out breath, lower the upper back, middle back, lower back, hips, and tail. Step your feet out wide to the edges of the mat. Knock your knees together to touch and take a moment here to reset. Even out the breath, smooth and steady. Let's do this. Hug your knees into the belly and into your chest. Scoot your hips an inch or 2 over to the left. And find a gentle twist over to the right. Your left shoulder will stay down. And maybe rest the right hand on top of the left thigh. The gaze goes over the left hand. With every exhale, could you allow and imagine that the left rib cage could melt to the floor? Make your way back through center. And second side. Scoot your hips an inch or 2 over to the right. And find a simple twist over to your left. Again, both shoulders are anchored. Maybe the gaze looks off to the right. Maybe you begin to lose that more intentional and that more mindful breath and begin to find something a little bit more natural as we prepare for Shavasana. Make your way back through center. And we'll finish with a happy baby. Grabbing onto the feet, maybe the shins. Press the tailbone down, and at the same time, reach your pelvis forward. So when you reach your pelvis forward, that natural lumbar curve should start to kind of form a little bit here. So there's like a really small lift in the lower back above the sacrum, but below the shoulder blades. And it's such a small lift that if I were to come over with like a piece of paper or a writing utensil, I could slide it literally underneath you from one side of the body to the other. And we'll meet in Shavasana. Of course, if there's anything short, symmetrical, that I have not offered you yet here today, that your practice isn't complete without, take these last few moments in class for yourself. If you have blocks or a bolster, maybe you put them underneath the knees for support. Eventually closing the eyes, and allowing yourself to settle into your stillness. Take one more full breath in. Open up the mouth. Exhale is release. No more work. No more effort. Shavasana. ready to leave Shavasana, begin to deepen the breath. Start to invite some smaller movements back into the body. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, the hands, and eventually the feet. Slowly begin to bend into the knees and step your feet down onto the floor. Reach the arms up and overhead so that the biceps are alongside your ears. And then using your biceps as a pillow, please roll to either side into a fetal position, whichever way feels more natural to you. Keeping the eyes closed. And using as little effort as possible, please make your way up into a comfortable seat facing your monitor. To seal in your practice, please bring your hands to a prayer position at your heart. As you guide the thumb knuckles up and into your sternum, invite a full breath in. Open up the mouth. Exhale is release. Thumb knuckles to your forehead, your third eye center. Thank you for sharing your practices with me today. Go in peace. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. That is it for today. But if you folks have any questions, if you have comments, feedback, or even requests, things you would like to see in class, let me know. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks.